Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. And again, welcome to the Garden of Truth. So I'd like to talk a little bit today about really the essence of what Islam is about. And that is it's about God. It's about recognizing the divine reality, you know. And this is one of the things that's quite interesting because there's a lot of ways to think about this and to contemplate. One of the best ways to kind of describe the way that Muslims believe in God, and actually this is echoed through previous revelations as well, and it says that God is as He was and always shall be as He was. And to be honest with you, that sentiment was one that I grew up with when I was being raised Catholic, and it's something that echoed through the stories of the Bible as well. And that is, God is as He was and always shall be as He was. And this is a lesson that's in Islam as well. But key in Islam is that the consistency of the oneness of God. So if God, Allah, is as He was and always shall be as He was, this gives us a reference, basically, for knowing that God's existence was prior to any other existence. All of everything comes from God. God's the source, the creator. And so there are many ways really to glean an understanding of the reality of God's existence. And but one of the things that I found in taking on Islam is that the consistency of the oneness of God is kept most central. It's also the lesson that we understand all of the prophets ever came with, was to call mankind to recognize God's oneness. And if you think about it, even from the Ten Commandments, right? The Ten Commandments, the first, thou shalt not honor any gods beside God. And also the second one, don't take God's name in vain, right? So God is almighty, and praiseworthy and glorious, right? And so we as human beings have to do everything we can to honor that reality, and do everything we can to resist from dishonoring that reality. And so this is one of the key things in Islam, is over and over again it teaches us through all of the stories of the prophets and through all of the direct lessons about recognizing God's reality, is that God is one, we have come from God, and we will return to God, So it's it's an unexhaustible point of reflection. And one of the tools that we have in Islam is what we refer to as the 99 names of God, the 99 names of Allah. And a couple of them are Rahman, Ar-Rahim. So, in fact, every part of the Bible, of the Quran, it starts with Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, in the name of God, all merciful, most merciful. And these are attributes of God's existence. That God is all merciful and most merciful. So just in this, we have a point of reflection to say, what's the difference between all merciful and most merciful, right? So we can think of all merciful as everything receives the mercy of God. All the plants, in fact, you can even think of it as from the plants, we gain oxygen, and from us, we give them carbon dioxide. And they need that, and we need what it has, and there's a symbiotic relationship as well. But it's a mercy that we get that oxygen, and it's a mercy for the plant that it gets what it needs from us. And so this whole universe is set up in all of these types of balances. And this balance is due to the fact that there is a creator, a designer of the whole, of everything. And that is everything that you use your eyes and you look to the horizon from your point of vision where it starts all the way till the point that it can't see anymore, right? Everything from there to there everything is from God. And then you take from that point of view and you go inward from where you can't see. And you look at the design of our own selves, and you realize it's so intricate and so beautiful, and so everything is so well designed that it's impossible for this stuff to just be by random happenstance. It has to be that the God, designed all of this and put it into play. And our belief in Islam is that God isn't the God who puts the stuff in play and then goes off into some other distant place. Because what it teaches in the Quran is that God is as close as the jugular vein, like never leaves us. It's like a part of everything that we're a part of, right? And so one of the descriptions or an analogy for being able to kind of contemplate this reality is that it says that there's a glass full of water, and you can't tell the difference of the glass and the water. Like there's no difference in the color. It's such a pure thing that there's like the form of light that outlines the cup, and so there's this great dynamic of how we perceive reality and how reality is. And one of the names of God is Al-Haq, the truth or the reality. And so all of what we experience in life, it's not that God is off in the distance and set us into motion and then stands back and lets it be. Everything from where we're at to the horizon, and from the horizon within ourselves, everything has God has a hand in it. Like, and I don't mean a literal hand. I mean there's involvement in all of it, and so all of this is kind of what the element of our belief in the oneness of God is all about. And with this belief, our whole life is designed around recognizing this through formal prayer, through looking at signs, and signs can be things of different languages and different colors of flowers and different plant species or different animals. All of the different varieties of things that we experience in the world and the life. And all of this is really signs to remind us that there is a creator and that there's a God. And then that God wants for us to show our thanks and our gratefulness and our recognition. And that's like what life is all about, and it's quite amazing, really. For me, I find it positively fascinating, because you really can't get exhausted in this stuff, and you stop and you ponder, reflect, and you think, and you go, okay. So, one of the things that I'd just like to say that's quite important to understand is that this is what Muslims are all about, right? Trying to figure out their relationship with the divine source. And that is, not something to be afraid of, right? So anybody who's out there trying to stir up fear and conjure up all kinds of, things to make you go, oh, I don't know about my Muslim neighbor or whatever like that, just relax. Because the life is about learning our connectedness to God. It's about us stopping to ponder and know What is this life really about? Where did we come from, and where will we return? And that's a good question. Those are good places, and I don't want to go on and on and on. So I'm going to leave it at that. I am thankful that people have started to watch the videos and things like that. I'm not a scholar or anything like this either. I wanted to share that. I'm not a scholar or anything, and mostly what I'm sharing is going to be the things that I've learned, asked people about, talked about, experienced in life and things like that. I'm not going to try to pretend like I'm a scholar or something. I'm not. But I am a person who has been deeply impressed by the way of self-surrender to the will of God. And I love to share it. I love to talk about it. And I hope that some of these things make it possible for people to stop and go, oh, well, let me, reflect on that. Let me ask a question or whatever, there's interaction that can be done. And, this is the modern platform, and we've got the comments and things like that. So any questions that you have, whoever you are, just go ahead and lay it out there, and we'll try to step into these things one by one. Thank you for watching the Garden of Truth, and we'll be at you again soon.